Okay, so we're gonna finish the review today, and hopefully we're gonna start with the first lesson on Monday. Okay. So yes, on Wednesday we talked about how can we find the equation of a line from a graph. Okay. And remember we said that first the equation has to be written in the form of I equals mx plus b, right? Where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. I'm going to start with B because it's easier to see, and then we'll move back to C. Okay, we did A and B together on Wednesday, right? And then we're going to finish C and C. So where's your y-intercept for B? -4, right? So that's -4 B dot. Okay? So I've already found the B dot. Okay? The second thing that I have to find is the slope. Okay? So the slope is I have to find 2 clear points on the line. So 2 clear points, I already know one of them. My second one would be probably this right here. Okay? So that's a clear point. It's on the intersection between x and y. Okay? So I have to count what's my rise and what's my run, because the slope is rise over run. So if I count my rise, it's 1 up, 2, 3 up. Okay? So I have to go 3 up and 2 over. Make sense? So my slope is 3 over 2 x. So basically that's the equation of this line. Okay? Because remember that the slope, which is m, is rise over 1, and I had to go up 3 and over 2. So my rise is 3 and my run is 2. Are you guys okay with this? Okay? Now, the reason why I did this before I did C is because C, as you can see, the y-intercept is not clear, and it's going to be a little bit different. It's still the same, it's just I can't use my y-intercept because it's a bit hard. So, again, what's my y-intercept here? 0.5, right? So, my y-intercept is 0.5, okay? But if I'm going to use my y-intercept, I won't be able to know what my rise and run is, okay? Because it's a half. You're going only down by a half, okay? So that's why I have to use 2 other points on the graph other than the y-intercept. So if you see that this point here is a clear point, and this point here is a clear point. You guys understand what I mean by clear points, correct? No, it's a point where I can read the x and the y clearly. Okay, so in this case, your x is -2, your y is 1. Okay, that's what a clear point means. However, if I take this point right here, for example, if I take this point right here, this is not a clear point. Because yes, I know that x is -3, but I don't know what y is. It's between 1 and 2, but I don't know what's that exact value. Correct? However, this one is pretty clear to me. It's on the grid. Does it make sense now? Okay, so the 2 points that I'm going to take is this one, because I know exactly what the x and y are. And it's this one, because also I know exactly what the x and y are. Okay? Now, going from this point to this point, how much do I have to rise or go down? How much do I go down? 1. And how much do I go over? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So my rise is -1 and my run is 4. So what's my slope? -1 over. So this will be my equation. Okay? So remember that you're looking for two clear points on the line, and then you're gonna see how much do you have to go down or up and over to get to that point. Okay? You're always forming kind of a right angle triangle between the 2 points. Are you guys okay with this? Okay. Can I move to the next page? Okay. Now, this question is asking you to graph the following lines on separate sets of axes using a table of value. I told you on Wednesday, don't worry about the table of values, right? Just graph it using the y equals mx plus b method, okay? I'm gonna show you how to do this one. We did this one together, I know that, but I'm gonna repeat it, okay? Using the y-intercept and slope method. For the second one, I'm gonna actually do what the question is asking me to do. I'm gonna do it to the table of values. Just to show you the difference between the two. Okay? So, can you guys tell me what is the y-intercept for the first equation?
0.
The y-intercept is -2, right? Because remember, it's y equals mx plus b, right? This is the y-intercept, so in this case, it's -2. Okay? What's the slope? 1. That's right. Okay? So if I want to look at this, my y-intercept is -2, so it's right here. So basically, this is one of my points. When you're grabbing a line that looks like this, you need to always start from your y-intercept. Okay, this is the known point that you're going to start with. Then the slope here tells me that I'm going up 1 over 1. We agree on that? So from this point, I'm going to have to go up 1 over 1, and I'm going to end up at this location. Can you guys put your hand up if you understand how I got to the second point? So I'm going to repeat it. I start with my y-intercept, go up 1 over 1. I got to my next point. Wherever I end, this is where the location of my next point is. I'm going to do it one more time because the more points you have, the better your line's going to look. So, again, from here, I'm going to go up 1 over 1. This is where my next point is going to be. Right? If I want to go one more time, up 1 over 1. This is where my other point is going to be. I can keep doing that until I have no more room. Okay? But I don't need to because I've already have.
I have one question. Can you write it down the points like numbers in numbers and brackets? It's more easy actually.
Like the points right here?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to do this.
It's more
Right?
It's more clear.
I don't need to write this. I do not need to do.
yes, that's okay.
I don't need to do that because then I don't have room on my graph.
I just want to know that how to write.
So this point, let's say, this point is 1, -1.
1.
This point is 2, 0. Okay?
I'm sorry, the last point is 3, 1.
The last point is 3, 1. Yep. And then the next point is going to be 4, 2. the next point is gonna be 5, 3. So that line is gonna keep going, right? Let's practice that one more time with the next equation, okay? Now I'll show you how to do the table of values. You'll see that this is much easier than the table of values, okay? So, what is my y-intercept for the next one? And what's my slope? So my y-intercept is 4, right? I located my y-intercept. My slope is -2/1. What does that mean in terms of where, how many steps? What am I gonna do to find my next one?
Negative down. Yeah, point down.
2 down.
And
Over
left.
one.
Oh, sorry. 2 down
Over
and over 1.
Over one.
Over 1.
Down or one.
So this is telling me I'm going down 2 because it's negative, okay? And I'm going over 1. I'm always going over to the right, okay? So let's see. This is my point. This is my y-intercept. I have to go down 2 over 1. You see where I stopped? So this is my next point. Okay? I can keep going. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. As I said, you can keep going as many times as you want, but technically I can already locate my line. I can already graph my line.
So just we have to look at.
That's it, that's my line, right? Alright, I have enough points for me to be able to draw my line accurately. Okay? So, locate your y-intercept, use your slope to know which direction you're moving. Okay? It's like, you know how you have the map and the map tells you you're here? And then if you want to go to your next store, it tells you you need to go this way, then left, then right. It's exactly the same thing, but we're moving in the same direction, right? We're always, so to get to the next store, I have to go down 2 aisles and then 1 to the left. You know what I mean? 1 to the right. And then, but it's always the same steps.
Okay.
Exactly.
Same, eh?
Now, how would I do it if I want to follow the table of values? Okay? A table of value would look like this. Okay? You have to assign values for x to find y. Okay? What values of x do you think I'm going to pick?
0 for x.
0,
0,
1, 2, 3,
4 as
right?
much as I can.
You can pick any numbers for x, right? It's not gonna affect your graph. The only difference is that it's going to be, you're gonna draw it here or you're gonna start from here and then go down. It's gonna be overlapping, okay? I'm gonna start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm gonna take the x value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see. I can pick these values. They don't have to be, the values that I pick, they don't have to match the values that you pick. Okay? So if x is 0, how can I find y? What do I do?
Just
Just for 0. Plus 4.
Exactly. So I'm replacing that 0 in the x right here. Okay? Because my equation is y equals -2x plus 4. So what I'm doing, x is 0, so I am replacing it with the x with 0. So So if I do this, negative 2 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. So my point is, is 0, 4.
X and the Y.
Yes, a point has to be x and y.
Yeah.
Okay? Oops. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with 1. I'm going to replace x with 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, plus 4 is 2. So my point is 1, 2. I want you guys to go back here and tell me, what is this point?
It should be minus 2.
No, it's not.
Minus
Negative 2
minus-
plus 4 is 2.
No, you're multiplying with, oh, okay. Yeah.
Plus 2 plus 1.
Right.
Can you guys tell me what this point is?
This one's 3. 2, 1.
Keith 3.
Oh.
What's the x value for the
Sorry.
1.
No,
That's one.
no.
It's 1, 2.
One,
two.
Yeah, X first, sorry.
1, 2.
One,
X is
two.
first.
Right.
Does this point match with this point? Yes.
Yes.
Does this point match with this point? Yes. Okay? Now, let's plug in 2 for x. Let's see what we're gonna get. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So my next point is 2, 0. Is that what I have here? 2, 0. Yes. So you see that the table of value is going to match exactly the way I've taught you earlier with using the y-intercept and the slope. Which one is easier? Both are easy, but which one is easier?
Graph.
You understand this better? Second one? See? That's different learning methods. Okay? You might understand the table of value better. Other person may understand graphing better, right? But when we're learning both, you guys can correlate.
I don't understand how you moved it. So this calculation
you
part of
understand.
it, I
Okay.
understood.
Good. So you get to choose. This question is technically asking us to do the table of value. Okay? So we should do this one before we get to this. But I wanted to show both because both you guys should learn in grade 9 and 10.
So if you get graph, you can do to the table for the answer, no?
Can you do, so you have to do the table and then you have to graph these points and then do the line. Okay? So after you do the table of value, you should locate your points on the graph and then you should draw them. Okay? I'm gonna tell you what values of x you're gonna use for them. Okay? And I'm gonna let you do it. So, the table of value for this, so I'm gonna pick 0 obviously. 0 is gonna be my point because this is where I'm gonna have the y-intercept. Now, the other values are gonna be multiples of 2. Why do you think I'm picking multiples of 2?
Down to 1.
It's down 1.
No.
No, it's up 1.
Up 1. Sorry.
But why my values are gonna be 2, 4, 6?
Because it's half.
greater.
Okay, so 10. You said it's a half,
Yeah.
right? If I do half times 2, what do I get? 1,
One.
right? But if I do half times 1, what do I get?
0.5.
0.5. So my numbers are going to be off. They're not going to be on the grid. Okay? You know what I mean? So if I pick 1 here, so a half times 1 plus 1, that's going to be a half plus 1. So that's going to be 1.5. Right? Graphing 1.5 is not the same as if you're graphing 2. Which one's more accurate? Graphing 2 or graphing 1.5?
2 is clear.
2 is clean. So if I pick the points to be even points, right? 2 times a half is gonna be 1. 4 times a half is gonna be 2. So I'm picking numbers that are easy numbers, friendly numbers, something that gives me easy numbers, okay? So I gave you the x values. I want you to do the table of value. Okay, similar to what we just did earlier. And I want you to graph it. Can you guys do that for me? Okay, go ahead.